This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
And welcome to the program. I'm Roby Brock. Thanks for joining us. We start with politics. It was a historic week as President Donald Trump became only the third president in history to be formally impeached by the U.S. House of Representatives. It was a highly partisan vote with all four of Arkansas's Republican congressmen voting against it. I'm now joined by Celeste Williams for her perspective. She's the Democrat running for the 3rd District Congressional seat against incumbent Republican Steve Womack. Celeste, last week I interviewed Republican Party of Arkansas Chairman Doyle Webb on this show. He said the allegations against President Trump at the center of impeachment were not impeachable offenses. He said it was the equivalent of running a stop sign and you shouldn't have your driver's license taken away. You supported impeachment. Why do you think the president should be removed from office?
So first, I would like to say thank you for inviting me to come speak to you today. And I would like an opportunity here in just a little bit to kind of introduce myself and why I'm running for Congress, because certainly impeachment was not on my top priority and certainly not what I hear voters talking to me about. As far as impeachment, I certainly think that it is, the president has withheld funds to Ukraine and then hid this fact. And certainly, I think really his own words speak a lot more to the issue than the rhetoric that's going on in Washington right now. And so I'd like to just read his words, which he stated on national television. And he said, if they were honest about it, they would start a major investigation into the Bidens. Trump then asked what he wanted Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to do about the former vice president and his son. They should investigate the Bidens, Trump said. Likewise, China should start an investigation into the Bidens, because what happened in China is just about as bad as what happened with Ukraine. And I think that the core problem here is that this is inviting a foreign influence to interfere in our elections. And I think that really strikes at the foundation of our democracy, which is free and fair elections.
Mr. Webb and others nationally have accused Democrats of using impeachment as a political weapon to hurt Trump's re-election bid and to help Democrats and their chances for election. Do you think impeachment will help your candidacy?
No, I don't. I don't think it helps anyone. And I think at the end of the day, yes, it is a political process. And I think that Democrats have been very hesitant to embark upon impeachment because we are so divided as a nation right now. And it certainly doesn't do anything to unify us or bring us together. And, Washington is really broken right now. And I think that this has just been an ongoing crisis rather than just right now. And to be honest, this is a big deal, yet I had one person who contacted me last night that was a friend to talk about impeachment. Nobody else is asking me about it.
Well, a bill passed by the House a week ago dealing with prescription drug prices. Congressman Womack voted no. You say you would have voted yes for that bill. For viewers who are unfamiliar with it, the bill would grant Medicare the authority to negotiate with drug makers to lower prices. It would limit out-of-pocket expenses for Medicare patients at around $2,000 a year. It prevents drug makers from raising prices for drugs faster than the rate of inflation. It does have a price tag on it that's pretty steep, and the CBO score said its estimate is uncertain. Can we afford this type of health reform?
I think we can't afford to not do this. As in my professional life, I am a family nurse practitioner, and every day I see people who are struggling with the cost of prescription drugs. And there are a lot of Americans out there who are diabetic, and the cost of insulin is really a barrier for them to living a healthy life. You know, as an example, insulin here in the United States is about $435. And that exact same insulin in Canada is $40. And so it really does make it very difficult for people to afford, you know, even just basic life, because certainly a type 1 diabetic without their insulin is not going to live.
And what else are the big issues you're hearing from voters on the campaign trail? I'm always curious as to what people are bringing to a candidate's attention.
So certainly the cost of health care is the most common thing that I hear about. And the other thing that I hear a lot about is worry about the cost of college education, good paying jobs. That's a big one. You know, 43% of Americans do not have an income that meets their basic needs, meaning an income that allows them to cover the cost of housing, transportation, food, health care, and a cell phone. And, you know, while we do have very low unemployment rates, we certainly have high rates of people who are not making an income that allows them to have a financial stability.
And how will you change that?
So I think you have to really look at protecting workers and making sure that there are worker rights. You know, there's a lot of people who are working in either the gig economy or in part-time jobs. And a lot of those people, especially like in a part-time job where they don't have a schedule that is predictable, and so families trying to have a schedule that allows them to manage childcare needs. And you know, if you don't have a predictable schedule, it does make it really hard to have a family. And I think we need to really look at policies that help support and strengthen families so that they are able to work in a way that they can support their family.
She is Celeste Williams, Democrat for Congress in the 3rd District of Arkansas. Merry Christmas. Have a good rest of the holidays, and I will see you on the campaign trail later after first of the year, Celeste.
Thank you so much, and Merry Christmas to you and everybody here in Arkansas as well.